Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sin City Living for today's episode of Vegas Vice. This is Louie.
Hey, what's going on?
And we just want to talk about a couple random things, as a lot of our Vegas Vice and Crossfire episodes are. For this one in particular, we're going to talk about the upcoming, hopeful Vegas reopen.
The resurgence.
In theory, Vegas is going to reopen June 1st with no restrictions whatsoever. At least that's what the governor last said,
right.
Is that by June 1st he wants to reopen Vegas with no social distancing restrictions whatsoever. I don't know how that's going to apply to masks.
Okay.
But as far as everything else goes, we're talking about full capacity casinos, full capacity
right.
restaurants. We're talking about shows reopening.
Right.
We're talking about everything coming back. Vegas returning, 100%.
Big deal.
What are your thoughts?
I'm under the impression that May is going to be the kind of the guinea pig for Vegas opening back up in June. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is I know in the casinos they're talking about bringing back 6 players to a side on dice, and I think less social distancing. I think it's going to be moved down to 3 feet apart instead of 6, I believe. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me.
The CDC last said is all that's necessary anyway.
Right. And little birdie in my ear told me that buffets are going to be opening back up soon as well.
What few that are left? A lot of casinos shut them down.
Caesars is opening back up. No, that's for sure.
A lot of casinos, they gutted their buffets and remodeled them into other things.
Yeah.
So there's still going to be some buffets around, of course.
Right.
But a lot of them have kind of gone the way of the dodo.
Yeah. Well, I like my buffets. I'm a fatty.
Oh, I'm
a fatty.
Some buffets. I've had one absolutely horrid buffet. I'm not going to say which casino it is on the Strip. It was so bad that the next day when I went out to eat and I took the walkway to a nearby casino, every other person on that walkway was talking about how they were going over there to eat because they didn't like the buffet where we were at.
Oh my goodness.
So as far as Vegas reopening, I think what's going to be the biggest thing for us is return of the shows.
Yes.
And hopefully return of conventions. It's conventions that's really the lifeblood of Las Vegas. So if we don't have the conventions, we really don't have a whole lot else going on.
Right.
And this whole 50-person max on shows and gatherings and all this other bullshit killed shows, killed conventions. Most shows didn't even open. I don't know of any that are open.
I don't either.
And killed all the conventions. And I think that with the reopen on June 1st, I think the shows will come back. They may not all just instantly come back June 1st, but I think the shows will come back. The conventions are not entirely up to us. We may say, hey, you can do a convention here, but if the convention organizers don't feel confident enough to do that, then doesn't matter if we allow the convention as long as if nobody shows up. So we'll have to see on that, but I think by the end of summer's not really a convention time anyway. So I think by the end of summer, we're going into the fall, as long as there's not some crazy resurgence, which I don't think there will be, and all these restrictions stay open, then I think all the conventions will come back and Vegas is going to rebound just fine.
I'm pretty sure Vegas is going to be fine. I'm sure everything's going to open back up. They have to, you know. Otherwise people are still going to be, you know, kind of like jobless or, you know, doing like odd jobs, you know.
And that's the thing. I think that now this whole pandemic and all the bullshit associated with it has absolutely killed a lot of people's incomes. It's just annihilated people's incomes, people's savings, and especially their confidence. Before, people might go out to Vegas with their most recent paycheck because they had confidence in their next paycheck.
Right.
And some of that confidence is gone now, but I think there's still enough people that have been making money through this pandemic and have been working and that their incomes were not affected, that then got all this bonus money of
$1,400 or
all this other crap. That I think what's going to happen is that we're going to reopen June 1st, and while summertime is usually the slow season for Las Vegas, I think it's going to be our busiest season of this current year. I don't think going forward summer will be the busy season, but I think that there's so many people just fatigued with the lockdowns and not being able to go anywhere, not being able to do anything, that they want to come out. And I think when it reopens, I think we're going to get flooded, absolutely flooded through summertime, which I think is both going to be a good thing and a bad thing.
It's also going to be a good thing too for just for everybody. When it floods, you know, people are going to come back. They're going to be able to work overtime hours, be able to start getting back in the groove of things. And
there's still, most people don't realize it because most of the casinos are open, but
Right.
a lot of people don't realize what an enormous percentage of casino workers are still out of work.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of those casinos, while they did reopen, they did not bring everybody back, not even close, not even a sizable percentage.
Right.
There's a huge number of casino workers, not just dealers, but everything from cooks to servers to porters
Yeah.
to housekeeping,
arena workers.
all the shows, all those workers. There's an
Yeah.
enormous percentage of people that have been out of work for a year and a half coming
Right.
up now. And the Vegas reopening could bring all these people back to work, which would be an absolutely huge thing. If we reopen in
100%.
June, I
Right.
really do think that Vegas is going to rebound this year. Unlike the last recession, that it took Vegas 10 years to recover.
Talking about the one from 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took Vegas 10 years to recover to pre-recession numbers, and then 2 years later we get a lockdown and everything goes to crap
Right.
all over again. Unlike that recession, I actually believe that Vegas is going to recover from this one fairly quickly. I could be wrong, of course, but I think that the recovery to pre-COVID numbers could be 2 years or less.
That's pretty strong. Pretty strong. I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be as drastic. On top of that, though, people are just going to be more comfortable going out as well. Not just, so happy that everything's opening back up. Because of the guidelines and everything, and I'm sure people are still going to be required to wear masks. But you're going to have people that are going to be feeling more safe to go out because people have been, getting shots and all kinds of stuff as well, and just people are going to be more comfortable in general.
I think that the biggest player on that is just going to be the fatigue. I think people
think so?
are sick and tired of all the COVID restrictions.
Right.
Shot or not, I think people are at the point now where a year and a half into this, and I hate to say this because I don't necessarily think it's true, but I think a year and a half into this now, people are like, you know what, I've survived up to this point.
Right.
I'm going to be fine. Screw it. Which
Take a chance.
is horrible because people are still dying to this day. And I mean, we actually both know somebody that had actually received a shot and still ended up passing away from COVID very, very recently. So the risk is still there, but I think the fatigue, I think people are just so sick and tired of being locked down, so sick and tired of not being able to go out, so sick and
Right.
tired of the restrictions and things not being open for them that the people at this point are like, you know what, screw this,
Yeah.
I'm going out.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, the one thing I'm sick and tired of, Vegas is a 24-hour town.
Yeah.
And even outside of Vegas, in normal towns, but in other towns where things like bars and stuff,
Other
to 2 o'clock,
Right.
there's still a lot of 24-hour stuff like Walmarts and stuff like that. I am absolutely sick and tired of not being able to get off work and run to Walmart or run to the grocery store.
Yeah. Walmart's not even
That-
24
that
hours no more.
Kills me. So I am most excited about reopening up so that hopefully my 24-hour grocery store can come back, and
Right.
my 24-hour Walmart can come back, and that I can that I can get off work and go get stuff
Right.
that I need to pick up instead of having to wake up early to go do it before work since I work at night. I'm a night.
Right.
So that's what that's what I'm most bitter about with this lockdown is losing the 24-hour Walmarts and 24-hour grocery stores and all that stuff.
Yeah. One thing I'm pretty hyped about too is I've always been hearing about Knights games, Golden Knights games. You got to go to one live. I want to go check one out. I want to check one out with a full crowd, and I just want to go to a live Knights game. I'm not a big fan of hockey, but maybe if I go to a Knights game, it'll change my mind.
They are doing well. Doing
Yeah.
very, very, very well. So yeah, just things reopening, it's going to make a huge impact to Vegas.
100%.
So we definitely welcome everyone to come out. One thing that I caution people to come out to Vegas for this, I caution you to understand that when you are at the tables, when you are playing your table games, to understand and realize that there's a good chance that the person dealing to you has either not dealt at all for over a year,
Right.
or has been dealing to a very limited number of people. So the skill set is definitely rusty. So keep that in mind. Things are going to be a little bit slower.
Right.
The smart dealers are going to go a little bit slower to make sure that they are being absolutely correct.
Right.
It's the rookie dealers and the poor dealers that are going to try and move really, really fast because that's just what they do, and they're going
Right.
to make mistakes left and right. Here's something else I think is going to return: $5 tables. Right now,
Yeah.
it's almost impossible to find a $5 table. They do exist, There are still casinos that have them, although they may not have them 24/7. They may
Right.
only have them for one shift, a day shift, if that's a slower time, or
Right.
a portion of graveyard. But they do exist, but they're extremely rare. Even the off-strip casinos that used to have $3 and $5 tables are $10 or
Yeah.
$15 minimum bet tables right now. And that I don't see going away anytime soon,
Right.
until we open back up to full capacity. Because we open back up to full capacity and we don't get these monster crowds,
Right.
then I think the $5 tables are going to start coming back. If every table is a $15 table, if a casino has, say, 5 dice tables, and they're all $15 tables, and 3 of them are standing dead, while the other 2, instead of having 16 players each, they have maybe 6 players each.
Right.
There's a real good chance that the casino's going to drop those other 3 tables down to $10 or even $5.
Yeah.
And same thing, if you've got $10 tables, there's a good chance they're going to drop down to $5 tables.
Maybe even 3.
And the places that do have $3 tables, they may bring back their $3 tables. You
Yeah.
never know. But I think that's when we're going to see the return of the $5 blackjack tables, the $5 dice tables, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is when we fully reopen, and maybe not right at first, because we're going to have this surge of people wanting to come out to Vegas. But then as that tapers off and the crowds start dropping back down to normal, as we start having tables standing dead, then we're going to start seeing the return of the $5 tables.
Right.
I'm not going to say whether or not that's a good or a bad thing, but that's when we're going to start.
Could be both.
Start seeing. I
Some places might benefit from it, some places might not.
I think the casinos are definitely going to benefit from it. Whether or not the dealers benefit from it, that's a whole different. That's a whole different ballgame.
That's something else,
And
right.
You're not going to see that on the strip, guys. At least not on the main strip properties. Some of the
Right.
smaller strip properties, maybe.
Right.
But you're very likely to see that in the off strip places. The
Local
return of
joints.
$5 tables,
Right.
which are going to be frustrating for some of the dealers with the local crowd that comes back in with their $20 buy-ins.
Right.
But yeah, we're getting ready to reopen, so I hope everybody is excited and ready to come out to Vegas.
Pack your bags.
And be sure to check out our videos if you're not sure how to play the various games.
Don't forget to like, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment if you like.
And we will catch you next time.
Peace.